Hi, I'm Evan from Mobile HQ, and today I'll be soldering a charge port on a Samsung Galaxy S3. At the moment I'm applying flux gel and the chip quick, which is a type of low melt alloy that will soften the solder and basically make it easier to remove. For this particular type of operation you could use a hot air gun, but I've found through trial and error that it's better not to, because hot air, the amount of heat that you need to get that component off generally is enough to bake the board underneath and cause all kinds of mayhem. So um, the best option I've found is using the chip quick and using that to soften the old solder and then remove it, because chip quick actually stays molten for a longer period of time and holds the heat onto the component, onto the exact parts. So it's easier to use, and it's harder to actually burn everything. So this is actually a fairly complicated type of procedure. Uh, so it's hard, and the some of the stuff you'll probably need to do this is I rec having a hot air station isn't a bad idea. Um, the chip quick low melt alloy, desolder braid, all the standard components that I've spoken about in previous videos and articles. So yeah, as you can see, the component comes off relatively easily, and then all you have to do is clean up the chip quick afterwards, which really isn't that hard. It just sucks straight up with a bit of desolder braid, or if you've got a sucking soldering iron, it would make the job even easier. So, and there it goes. Apologies about the video. The video camera is actually very easily knocked. So yeah, here I am cleaning the solder off with a bit of desolder braid. A lot of this I've skipped through because it takes ages and it's not very interesting. So all up the repair, once a person's familiar with it and done it a couple of times, you could probably knock one of these over in maybe 20 minutes, half an hour, or maybe even quicker. Half your battle's taking the old component off and then cleaning up the solder and everything afterwards. But once that's done, it's fairly quick to solder the new piece on. So what I'm using to clean here is isopropyl alcohol wipes, and then just tidying up the solder pads, make sure everything's right for the new component. And what you probably could do if you really wanted to is Dremel out the holes. Sometimes the solder is very difficult to get out, and you'll see on one side that I didn't, on the bottom left hand side, I didn't quite have it as clean as it possibly could have. But I mean, this is under 20 times magnification, so it looks really big, but actually this is really small. And those pins are actually almost impossible to see. So to resolder, it's the exact, pretty much exactly the same as desoldering it. You add a bit of flux gel. Um, the four posts that I'm actually fluxing at the moment, I don't believe they actually have any they're not really, they're more of a structural support type thing. They don't actually have anything to do with the way the charge port operates. pretty much all of that is done through the pins down the bottom, and that's the bit you need to be the most careful about soldering. So what I've done is I use the tip of the soldering iron to basically transfer the solder onto the pins. I've tried using flux gel, solder gel. I've tried all sorts of things, but really the best way that I've found at, that works for me. And I mean, realistically, as long as you end up with a working product at the end of it, it doesn't really matter how you do it. But how I've done it is I've just used the tip of the soldering iron to transfer the solder directly to the pins, and then I hit it with the hot air gun just to heat it up and sort of reflow it all, and it works a treat. So while it may look a little brutal, it actually isn't. And worst case scenario, if something goes wrong or you can't get the component to sit right, make sure when you order the component, order a couple of them. And if something's not right, then just pull the old one off and just resolder a new one on. And that's the beauty of doing this, because it doesn't cause any damage to the board or anything. You can pull them off and put them back on, and you can probably do it a number of times before it actually started causing any damage to anything. What I'm putting in is just regular solder. There's nothing special about it. All soldered on. So I have actually plugged this in and it does work. So please visit www.mobilehq.com.au, and thank you for watching.